council meeting to order. It's 5 p.m. on Monday, August 18th. We want to welcome everyone. And if you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Deb.
Jessica. Don.
Here.
Callie. Harley.
Here.
Roger.
Here.
Roger.
Here. Entertain a motion to approve today's agenda with one amendment. Agenda item number 18, we need to remove tonight.
Actually, that one's going to be good to go.
Oh, it is? Okay.
This afternoon, so
Okay, good.
Okay, move to approve the agenda as it stands.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb.
Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Motion carried. Across the mayor's desk, just want to thank Flynn McCann again. This is the last time for Flynn here as our videographer before Flynn is off to college. So we appreciate what you've done. And you've been the videographer for various activities with the city, and we appreciate all your work with that through the summer. So, and just a reminder, speaking of school, that school is back in session in 1 week, a week from today, August 25th, so everyone please drive carefully. And then just a note that a week from today is Labor Day, and according to council rules of procedure, we automatically, when city council day falls on a holiday, we automatically move that to the next day on Tuesday. So just a reminder there. So council have anything that they would like to share? Hearing none, we'll move to update from the city administrator.
Yeah, a few construction projects updates to begin with. We've got a few streets closed down started today. So the Call Street and 169 intersection, right there next to Grand Jeanette Jewelry, that closed today. We are replacing that northwest quadrant of the intersection. All the sidewalk there, it's in really rough shape. Coordinate some improvements that's going on in the parking lot. That's expected with concrete pouring, removals, all that, to take about 10 days. So that will be anticipated to be closed this week and into next. And then we've got right now some work going on Hale Street at the corner of McGregor Street. So we are widening that intersection by moving the storm intake on the east side back a couple feet just to give a little bit more turning radius buffer there for the school buses that use that route to turn onto McGregor. So that project will wrap up this week and be ready to go by the time school starts. And then the Finn Drive Railroad crossing, that closed down for today. That work is expected to last 10 to 12 days. Confirming that. 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. So during that time, we've got a detour set up with Finn Drive obviously being a major road that redirected people down Poplar Street, Oak Street, to use Main Street to go north and south there. And then the rec trail as well. That section is closed. So anyone using the rec trail won't be a through path while that is under reconstruction, but that should be done here by the end of the month. And then we do have a few job openings that we are actively hiring for. So one is a certified police officer position still. We do have an opening for a dispatch communications officer at the LEC, as well as we're accepting applications for a part-time library clerk. And then now I'd like to invite Chief Miller up.
Hello, thanks for letting me step up here. Today I want to introduce, obviously you guys all knew we had multiple openings. Today is the first day. We're very fortunate. This is Danny Cotterill, and we're very fortunate to have him. He's got 16 years of law enforcement experience, so we get to bring somebody in here that has a wealth of knowledge. So we're really happy he's here, and I'm going to let him come up and tell a little about himself.
Thank you, Chief. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Dan Cotterill, originally from England, you can probably tell. Yeah, I've been in law enforcement now for 16 years. Worked for the University of Iowa, Lisbon Police, West Branch, Humboldt. So been around a little bit, but hopefully now found a new home for the next 10 to 12 years. So that's what I'm planning on. I'll be moving to Algona next month. So yeah, looking forward to getting started, and thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
For you. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And then last Saturday, just one final thing, we just want to talk about the storms that we had. Most of the city, or a large portion of the city, seemed to turn into a river there for a bit, but we had anywhere, depending on where you counted it in town, between 3 to 5 inches. It seemed to be a little lighter on the west side of town, at least from the folks I talked to and data I was able to find. So we did have a number, just when we got that much rain in that short amount of time, unfortunately, there's going to be infrastructure failures. It's just not adequate for that. We did have a handful of sewer backups in the South Main Street area that we reported. So I know we might have a few people that want to talk with us here later tonight. But I did just want to give an update on kind of coming up. September 2nd, at our next council meeting, we do plan to have WHKS here. So we will be going over the plans and specs for the sewer lining and the manhole spot repairs. Manhole spot repairs, we think will still get done here in 2025. The lining will just kind of depend on availability of contractors. So we'll be going through that stuff during the work session, as well as giving an update on the footing drain program, the status of that. All inspections have been completed. We're in the middle of the removal process, but it'll provide an update on how that's going, as well as our plans for ongoing I&I influent infiltration investigation in the sewer system. They've had someone in town here the last few weeks doing manhole inspections for the north half of the city, we're inspecting 2 sectors this fall. And then once we finally get it to dry out in the falls, when we'll go in and do the smoke testing. But that doesn't work until much drier than what we currently are. And then we do plan to redo some testing in that South Main area at that time. When we did the investigation this last year, we found faulty connections in the system. Most of those were on the west side of town, not in that South Main Street area. So we still need to continue to do some investigating to figure out if and what is, contributing, a significant amount of water that we're not aware of the source on that from. And then our plan is, once we get the footing drains removed, to go back in and do the sewer flow meters to see kind of before and after how much effect that's had, as well as looking at, do we have any, noticeably large amounts of water coming from one direction that we shouldn't, now that we know footing drains and some pumps are removed. So we want to kind of wait till we've got some more of those further along the way, so we can know that's eliminated in terms of a consideration. Fortunately, it's a lengthy process to investigate and improve the system, but that's kind of just our plan moving forward. We want to provide an update with the storms that we did have this last time around. I believe we ended up bypassing 5 different times during the month of July at the sewer plant, which is where, if we do have to bypass, it's a violation, but that is where we want to bypass, is at the plant. But it's just, with the saturation that we've had, we were only supposed to get a couple tenths that morning, so we did not have the pumps out. When we ended up getting the amount of rain that we got, we started bypassing at the plant at 9, and then started bypassing out in the spot areas in the field at 9:45. We'll continue to, kind of try to learn from when we go through these experiences of how quick that water hits. It seems about 9:30 is when we started to see those backups start to occur. So we had pumps out this last week with the forecast that we had. But looking at the rest of the month, hopefully we will find, it looks like it's finally going to start to dry up, but, based on this forecast, we'll stage accordingly still.
Thank you. We'll move into agenda item number 7. This is citizens' opportunity to address the council with any item that's not on the agenda. Anybody like to speak?
I'm just curious though, is the house inspections, the footing, the only?
Yeah, please come up here and then we'll be able to hear you.
So you're inspecting all the footings in the houses, but as you're smoke testing, is there we've heard rumor that there's city lines that are illegally connected. Are you testing for the own city lines? And is there illegal connections that you're not addressing that are also having an issue with this I&I infiltration system? Because while there are homes that you've identified, is there any from when the city was initially established that are illegally connected that should also be addressed fairly quickly? Or are we going to continue this in hopes that it's just a house and the houses do enough of it where the city should be addressing their own issues as well?
So whenever we do the smoke testing, the main value of that is on the public infrastructure side of things and finding those what we call cross connections where storm sewer and sanitary sewer are commingled, or they're close enough and sanitary sewer has a lot of corrosion or gaps in it, and all that storm water is flooding it. That's kind of what smoke testing does try to find amongst many things, but that's probably the primary thing. So. Unfortunately, when we did the smoke test on the east side of town, we did find some cross connections, mainly on the west side of town when we had an older, where we had that older system. But that is something when we do find them, they do get corrected because that's, I'd say, that's probably not the easiest thing, but taking care of, a storm sewer cross connection in terms of the amount of impact that we have, in terms of just the ability for the city to do that on our own, and we don't need to coordinate with property owners and things like that and get into houses and be invasive. So when we do find those and we inspect for them, we certainly do address them.
So are they all fixed today that you know of? Or is there still some lingering out there that are not fixed? Can
There
you
are.
identify?
There are some cross connections that we identified with this last round of testing that those are slated to be repaired here this fall.
Okay, and what does that, so you guys as a city are still accountable, so yes, there's other homeowners, but you as a city are also accountable for the flooding in our homes that continue to happen. So at what point does anybody help the homeowners that are still affected by this day in and day out of 100-century type of weather? We're 600 years old, 700 years old. At some point, at what point do you guys help the citizens of your community that continue to get flooded by this? I don't think that's a wrong or an unfair question to ask.
Say our objective is the best way to fix the problem is to fix it at the system level. We do have the private property sewer assurance program that will cover 80% of the cost to, try to mitigate and prevent backups from happening.
We've done that, check, now what? I got a 11-year-old here that has lost and now displaced right before school starts. I have a husband that's in Iraq that is worried about his home and his family. He should be worried about 130 some odd men's lives that they want to come home to, right? That's where his focus should be, but instead it's, where is his family? Are they healthy? Are they safe? What's going on? And you don't have an answer. All we have is we're trying. At what point is it better than that? No offense, how many times are we gonna come up here since 2018 and have this same conversation? How many people reached out from the city that said, hey, we know you're having fun, can we come over and help? You have kids, your husband's gone, any of it? How many people reached out? Can any of you raise your hand and say we were there? No.
Sorry, I didn't know you had.
No,
You got me personal.
No, and I get that.
I did know that, but it does seem like, is there anything on that, seems like that south side of Maine, we've done all of Maine, we don't seem to have issues north of it. And it seems like that's south, I don't know, have we been able to identify them?
Earlier this year, Rodney, they were putting the 6-inch pump on Main and Lucas where we've got 290 degrees in the sewer main, and that alleviated everything. South Main did not back up until a week ago, last Saturday. And that's because we were supposed to get, a quarter of an inch of rain, and we got 3 to 5 inches. They did not have the pump deployed at that time. But when that pump is there and they get it going, it alleviates the problem.
But that's a Band-Aid, right? That's not a permanent solution.
It is a Band-Aid while we continue to solve the problem. This problem is not gonna get fixed overnight, Jackie.
So what are we
It's gonna
supposed to
go
do
on.
about our house? And Brian, I'm gonna ask you this point blank. Market value of any house on our block, what would it be? Market value, if you had to tell somebody, hey, we're moving to Algona, would you advocate for that house at this point, knowing what you know? Market value, what would that home be?
There's been some really nice sales on your block, but with known issues, so you can put me on the spot all you want.
But I'm just asking as a realtor. I mean, honestly, I would not personally want to buy a house
Down our
knowing.
street, there has been some sales, and there's been nice sales.
And yeah, the lady across the street that just got it, they're outside dealing with sewage water. I mean, as a homeowner, knowing what we've done with, I can't imagine wanting to buy another house knowing there's sewage water in there. I mean, did you share the picture that I sent you? I mean, that is disgusting. It's literally like taking poop and water, pureeing it, and dumping it all over your floor. And that's what we have to clean up, and that's out of a child's home. You know, at what point is that not okay?
But it was reported to me there was a connection in your grinder pump that was bad, because
It's
the
not in the grinder
plumbing was
pump.
there. That's what they're called.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a grinder pump, and she
Plumbing was
had it.
there and solved
Stoops
that
don't have a
issue.
grinder
So-
pump, and it's still there. So at what point, we can say whatever, it's still going into houses that have grinder pumps, that don't have grinder pumps, it's still coming in, period, end of story.
Okay, Jackie, we've listened to your concerns, and I think from now on, from here on with this, then we need to address staff, come into the office and address staff separately so that we can work with you, so that we can understand what's going on, or you can understand where we're coming from.
I get that, but from 18 to now, if we still don't understand, we're still on it, at some point, we have to do better.
Okay, yep. We thank you for coming up today. Is there anyone else that would like to address council? Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 8, which is the consent agenda, and that includes approving the minutes from our August 4th city council meeting, approving the bills to be paid this cycle, and approve the department reports as well as the minutes from the various boards and commissions that have met. Move to approve. Second. We have a motion from Harley, second from Brad. Any discussion? Roll call, Dale.
John?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes. Motion carried. Agenda item number 9 is a public hearing, and it's 5:18, and we'll open this public hearing regarding the municipal zoning code.
This is a public hearing. We have 2 ordinance amendments on the agenda today pertaining to zoning. The first one is to allow by special exception a parking lot in our downtown business district. It's come to our attention that sometimes a business wants to expand their business and it will take up all of their lot, and they have nowhere for their employees to park except on the street. This will allow a special exception private parking lot, so they will have to go before Board of Adjustment and explain why they want a private parking lot in the downtown area. The other one is our sign code. We had some illegal things in there talking about whether it's a political sign or a real estate sign or whatever. That was found by the Supreme Court to be illegal. So we've taken that language out, and we've moved a lot of our signing regulations over to chapter 15 of signs and awnings. So you're not having to look in the zoning code and in signs and awnings. Most of our regulations are in one place now, which makes it much easier. This has gone before planning and zoning on July 31st, and they recommended approval for both of those zoning amendments.
And have we heard any comments from the public or, okay? And I don't see anyone here that would like to speak on this particular agenda item. Anything else, Barb, to share with that? Or?
Nothing yet.
All right. It's 5:19 then, and we will close that public hearing, and we will move to new business agenda item number 10. And this is the second and the third readings for the ordinance regarding parking regulations.
Updates to parking areas in town. So the first one is downtown. Designated a handicap parking space on Nebraska Street, on the north side there, immediately west of Thornton Street. That was at the request of the tenants and the POW and ADA to occupy the building to the north. And then the second, kind of in combination with the Hale Street improvements that I mentioned earlier, where we're widening that intersection, would prohibit parking on the north section of Hale Street, which currently allows for parallel parking, but except for that north 108 feet depicted by that red line, you can still park on the east side of Hale Street for the rest of the block down the way.
It's all they painted it yellow already, something like there, yeah.
We have the signpost there too, just waiting for you guys to approve it, so they can start it off, so.
Tried the yellow paint out and so.
Yeah, they were painting for school, so they just decided, let's paint it.
I mean, some of that curb looks like it could almost be fixed, but it'll work for now, that yellow is. But, motion to waive the second reading? Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Brad to waive the second reading. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve the second reading?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the second reading. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And motion to waive the third reading?
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Brad to waive the third reading. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve the third reading?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the third reading. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the ordinance amending the L1 Municipal Code, Chapter 10.44.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 11 is an ordinance pertaining to, it's the first reading of an ordinance pertaining to our signs and awnings.
This goes along with our public hearing. This moves most of our sign regulations to this chapter. We also clarified maximum sign height. It just said 25 feet, so it was at the bottom of the sign, top of the sign, etc. So we put 35 feet from ground to top of sign, and it also lets you know which zoning codes these signs are not allowed in. We also had a discrepancy while signs were in the zoning code, that you had a list of things that could be used as special exception in residential areas, but when you got down to signs, they weren't allowed to have a sign. Like if it was a business, they weren't allowed to have a sign. But you go to planning, or you go to Board of Adjustment, and it said signs for special exceptions are approved by Board of Adjustment only. So we just cleared up a lot of the language. It's a very long ordinance because, well, not this one, I guess the zoning ordinance is a long one, but we had to go through each section and update the sign ordinance, and then we did put a section in about non-conforming signs that are currently existing.
And then we also added language on, previously talked about illuminated signs, but for any of the electric signs or electronic signs that they cannot be illuminated or constructed in a manner to cause distractions or nuisance. And on that, we follow the DOT has guidelines that they use for how often signs changing and specs like that. Just kinda
Move to waive first reading.
Second.
Motion from Brad, second from Rodney to waive the first reading. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Motion from Brad, second from Rodney to approve the first reading. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 12 is also first reading of an ordinance pertaining to the zoning regulations regarding signs.
This partners along with the amendment for chapter 15, so it really regulates basic sign language for each zoning code. What Jacob's got up there on the screen is pretty much standard for every zoning code. Just saying where they're allowed, the temporary signs cannot exceed 6 square feet, so we went out and measured a real estate sign to make sure it was pretty close to that. And then it also states for all other sign regulations to check chapter 1524. So it's going to refer people to 1524.
Temporary signs, 6 square feet?
Like real estate signs,
Political,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
guess
so
I'm
yard
thinking
signs.
those mobile ones where you put the big letters on, I think they're bigger than that, aren't they?
but they're not,
We're talking about like, one of those, like if you're,
That you rent for
Yeah.
a week or so when you put the dinners here, whatever.
that's true.
I think maybe we better
I might be
consider
something to
those.
That should probably go in our sign ordinance because that's an illuminated sign usually, not all the time. But we can make that amendment in the sign ordinance.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
So I guess do you have any direction on, because one of the things that, with this code update to match with Supreme Court case laws, we have to be content neutral. So that's why we took out the language, our current code talks about political signs, well, whether it's a, vote John Q. Public for governor, or if it's, Vacation Bible School, like, we need to treat them the same, we're just worried about the size and the location. And so that's, kind of something that differs for. So I guess for bringing in those temporary signs, is there, larger than 6 feet, can be there for so many days. Because I know, sometimes you run into issues where it's like, oh, is this going to be temporary? And then it turns into not a temporary sign and, doesn't have a proper base and maybe isn't the most aesthetically pleasing. And two, making sure that sign's placed in a way it's larger, that it's not problematic from an intersection standpoint.
Yeah, I think it would be good if you work on the wording on that and have it so it's acceptable for a period of time. So should we delay this and work on it later?
Or you could, this is the first reading,
Alter it.
yeah, it's the first
We
reading.
still alter it?
You can alter it at the second reading, you can amend, you could have,
Improve it, yeah.
you could approve this if you wanted to.
And-
Or we
Is
could
there any rush
table
on any
it
of it?
to, just table it, update it, and then do the first reading at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
At the next
We don't have
meeting?
anything pressing.
No, but I would recommend we skip the 1524 reading at the next meeting, because they kind of need to pass at the same time. Because 1524 will be in direct conflict with the zoning code, or the zoning code will be in conflict with 1524 if we don't pass them at the same time. And I'm just wondering if those temporary signs like you're talking about could be considered like under billboards in 1524. It doesn't say temporary, but I think we can maybe cover it in there.
We can certainly come up, with some options on language and have something that addresses that point.
Okay, well, to allow you time for that, I move we table this for now.
Second.
We have a motion from Harley, second from Rodney to table agenda item number 12. Any other discussion?
You're saying we could approve this and then make changes during the process. What do you advise us to do?
There's nothing pressing on getting this passed, so it's whatever the council prefers to do. I don't think it's going to make a difference one way or the other.
I think it's fine to just to table it, and let them work on it, because it sounds like they want to work on the other one too, so, that way they can bring them both back at the September 2nd
There's
council
nothing
meeting.
pressing to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, roll call Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Ordinance tabled. Okay, agenda item number 13. This is the first reading of an ordinance pertaining to private parking lots.
Yeah,
By
this
special
is,
exception.
this ordinance will allow a private parking lot in the Central General Business District by special exception only, meaning they will have to go before Board of Adjustment and plead their case as to why they want to tear down a structure in the Central General Business District to put in a parking lot.
I'd say one, consideration or, just hesitation to have is obviously the downtown, having a full downtown is, important just for the vibrancy and the viability of it. And you can see a lot of downtowns where they, get a lot of missing buildings and things like that. So, not wanting to, if a business is looking to expand and doesn't have, parking on site, would like an adjacent lot or a nearby lot for private parking, trying to find that balance, but we think special exceptions that way to make sure that we don't just have, buildings coming down, you're losing tax value, you're losing commercial space. So, if it maybe trends that way in the future, it's something to be reevaluated, but trying to find that balance here.
Yeah, just think about, you normally look to upgrade properties, and then when you're making a parking lot, it's kind of by definition, you're downgrading. So,
But in this case, he's expanding, this person's expanding their business, so they're upgrading the lot they're on, even though they're gonna downgrade another.
Motion to waive the first reading.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Brad to waive the first reading. Any discussion? Roll call Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the first reading. Any discussion? Roll call Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 14, this is a resolution authorizing the release of real estate mortgage.
Pat Walker had a housing rehab revolving loan fund with us from back in 2019. That loan has since been paid in full, so this resolution acknowledges that and authorizes the mayor and city clerk to release the mortgage used to secure the loan.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Don to approve. Any discussion? Roll call Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, Pat, for that repayment. Agenda item number 15 is a resolution pertaining to the airport sign.
In May, we passed a resolution allowing us to apply for Department of Transportation and pay for 50% of a new sign at the airport. If you've noticed, it's gone now through the winds, it's been totally destroyed. We were awarded the grant. This resolution will authorize the mayor to sign the contract with the DOT so we can move forward.
So DOT will cover up to 50% or $12,500 of the cost for that new sign. And then the airport commission, we have about 6 different renderings that we presented to them. This was the one they chose, which aligned with what staff would have otherwise recommended, but we let them choose first, and we're all on the same page. That was nice. So this would be the sign, and then on the one side, I guess each side would be so the airplane is pointing towards the airport.
Is it lit at all, or is it just?
There will be some surface lighting pointing up towards it.
I like it.
Yeah, that's
Good.
good. Yeah.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Don to approve. Any discussion? Vote please, Jim.
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 16 is approving a change order with wastewater treatment plant improvement project.
This is a change order that we've kind of had a few of them stacked up, some smaller ones than a big one that we combined into one change order. So the first couple are just some misaligned with an unsquare existing building with new equipment. We need some couplers and adapters to make everything handle right. The flushing ports and pipe traps are really bad, and some redundancies that when we're doing operations and maintenance that we can isolate and shut things off and reroute and make things a little bit more convenient. The electrical and the heater upgrades in the shower and the bathroom, there's a miscommunication design. They thought that was just going to be an emergency wash-off shower, whereas we wanted it as a proper shower. So we had to upsize that. The transfer switch for the generator, that needed to be relocated, and with that now being outside, had to beef up the concrete pad that sits on. And then we had a large deduct of about $158,000 that we're eliminating majority of the painting of the oxidation ditch walls. So after a lot further analysis and looking at other plants and what all needs to get painted, what's going to be constantly submerged does not need to get painted. It's really just what's exposed to the oxygen in the air, and then with all the chemicals and stuff coming off, that's what needs to get painted. So all the undersides of the catwalks, what's exposed and a couple feet under that will still get painted. But we had a number of conversations with our engineers on this because we didn't want anything that was going to compromise it long term. They were confident in the recommendation of basically for the areas that are usually underwater, this would be an unnecessary redundancy and there'd be no value add. So for the savings, we're proposing eliminating that, which brings the change order to a net decrease of approximately $143,000.
You like that kind of a change?
Yeah.
Motion to approve the change order number 5.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Brad to accept this change order. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 17 approves the pay application for the wastewater treatment improvement project.
This is pay application 15 from Woodworth Construction in the amount of $1,368,989.34 for work completed in the month of July. We're about 45% of the way through the contract dollar-wise after this payout.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Don. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 18 is to approve a change order for library exterior improvements.
This deals with some accessibility upgrades at the library. So the automatic door reader for like the operator, the actual equipment on the main double door entry, that has basically got kaput. Still works to some degree, but doesn't extend all the way. We've had service a number of times. It's out of warranty when the issue started happening. So we're proposing with this, while we're having a contractor in town, replacing the main entrance, the ADA push button opening, replacing that. And then with this, the main changes are to adding a handicap push button, an auto power operator, replacing all the door hardware and the door itself on the south door of the library. We had understood from the architect that this was to be included in the design. It was not when we went through and did some final changes to it. When we eliminated basically covering up the wall or redoing that brickwork in that south vestibule, when that was eliminated, this door work, which should have still been left in there, was unfortunately eliminated, so we need to get that back to be ADA compliant. And so that's the bulk of it, and then while we're at it, like I said, we get that main door working again. So the total cost of the change order is $23,228.70.
And this is covered by the library's
Yep,
fund?
by their capital fund. Yep.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
A motion from Harley, second from Rodney. Any discussion?
So do we believe this new is gonna last longer? Same equipment? Is it better equipment? We don't know.
Other than just thinking we got a lemon,
Okay.
you know, like I said, we had to serve it multiple times, and we, you know, it looked like some of it might have like really rammed it one time, but it's hard to say if that caused it or if it wasn't working right, so someone was a bit aggressive with it, and that caused what looks like the damage.
Oh, I hope so then.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 19 is to approve a pay application for the library exterior improvements.
This pay application is from Kingland Construction, is for work and materials in the month of July. So the architect has reviewed and recommends approval. It is in the amount of $74,421.68. Contractor was off-site for about the last week. They're back on site today, so now they're putting up the steel on the building that will hold the new facade, the brick veneer and the metal wood siding. So they're starting to put that up. And there's a few spots that the subcontractor that did the waterproofing needs to come back and touch up some areas where it did not adhere properly and was a little bit light. So that should get done this week as well.
Motion to approve pay application.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Don. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 20 is to approve a pay application for the runway extension paving and lighting project at the airport.
So the airport, the concrete runway closed on August 4th or 6th for construction to begin. So if you drive out there right now, just south of Highway 18, you can see that north turnaround where they've started removals and are clearing the area for where the new one will go. And then they've started on doing the electrical upgrades as well. So this pay application number 3, now that construction's begun, is in the amount of $170,332.62.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Don, second from Brad. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 21 is to approve a pay application for the Nebraska Street, Thornton Street reconstruction project. Matt?
Thank you. In your packet, you'll find pass number 2 for work from July 4th to August 1st. For Casper Construction, amount of $210,762. Kind of project update for that. Started storm sewer work on the south end of McGregor and Thornton late last week when they got their pipe delivered. It went well until it rained today. So they'll be back on site hopefully tomorrow to continue storm sewer in that south block. All the services, sewer and water services are done in the south block of Thornton so they can run storm sewer all the way up to Nebraska Street. Still have some service work to do in the north block of Thornton for the POW Museum and Billy Joe's and Algona Hearing Center. But they'll be working on that as soon as they get the storm sewer out of the first block. That way the concrete crew can come back in and get the McGregor Thornton patch put back together. Get that road kind of back open, wide enough. One for storm sewer erosion problems, and two, farming season, keep that road as wide as possible. So that's going to be the push. Hopefully pave that back early next week. Kind of the south 50 feet of that Thornton Street and McGregor patch. Other than that, parking lot grading was going good until it rained again. Got some more cells graded out and tiled, get rock placed in there. So they're down to the last kind of one to dig out and get tile placed, and then they can rock everything and get the concrete crew going in there too. Like Jacob said, they are kind of bouncing around with the concrete crew with Finn Drive and Hale and McGregor and Call Street. So they haven't taken anybody off of this street for those projects. So the street project is their kind of main focus for their underground crew, and they can get that done.
The county recycling center, we did close this week that driveway off of McGregor Street. And working with the county engineer, Doug Miller, we decided to replace that driveway. Half of it was going to get removed anyways, so we're going to replace the whole thing and shift it over a little bit as well to align better with the travel path of the recycling center. So I believe you can. They're asking folks to use the transfer station up in for the week while it's down.
It'll be down for a week, you think?
That's the.
Yeah, with the rain today, they weren't able to work on storm sewer. We're hoping to get the storm sewer kind of removed through that intersection and replaced. Because with this driveway replacement, we were gonna extend storm sewer into the driveway. With the whole driveway getting replaced, we're gonna put new storm pipe all the way through there. Phase 2 of this project, when South Dodge Street is reconstructed, we'll upsize that pipe along McGregor the rest of the way, so we didn't want to rip the driveway out twice. So yeah, they got a couple days of storm sewer work to get out of there, and then the concrete crew can come in, so it might be into next week for sure with the closure, but hopefully keep it as short as possible. So we'll keep the county in the loop, and people were driving there all day today asking where it went. But the county did remove all the bins, so people pulled in and know that it's not there. So, and I think they did have a Facebook post and some other correspondence with the county on the closure.
Will they have to detour McGregor when you cement? I mean, will they have to?
No, we're gonna set up the lane shift again. So last week we pushed the cones out, kind of into the drive lane. There was plenty of space because we didn't have to go as far as when they did with the water main construction. So the storm sewer is 10 feet north of the water main. So when they do pour the concrete, we will have that lane shift with the center lane delineator cones back in there, just with gravity wagons and sprayers and everything else going through there. We decided to just keep McGregor as wide as possible, and everybody's kind of used to driving around the patch anyway. So, but yeah, when the concrete crew does get in here, we'll have to cut the gravel out of that patch and put it back, full depth concrete. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, man.
Motion to approve pay application number 2 for Nebraska Thornton reconstruction.
Second. Motion from Rodney, second from Brad. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb.
John,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 22 is an appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do we have anybody?
Nothing to tell you about yet.
Okay, all right. Keep checking. keep
I'm
asking.
checking, I'll keep asking, but I don't
Okay.
want anybody to tell you.
And if there's anyone out there in the public that would certainly like to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission, give us a call here at City Hall. And agenda item number 23 is our final agenda item, and this is the final notification of Aaron McCartan's term expiring on the Airport Commission. It expires August 23rd. He has been asked and has agreed to serve another 6-year term. He's a valuable addition to that airport commission, so I would recommend his reappointment.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call in.
Don,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Riley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. And thank you, Aaron, for accepting that, and we look forward to working with you for another 6 years. So it's 5:50, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn today's city council meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.